going to give you a weapon. You're not assured to get the sword. You're actually going to get any weapon, whether it be the Cane of Brian, you could get the Cane of Samaria, you could also get bow and arrows. There's a hammer, there's quite a few other items you can get that are going to be aggressive items to use. So looks like we're getting started now. Let's see what this first chest gives us. Uh-oh. Are we going to have a bomb start?
Oh, wow. And I believe that Uncle did not walk outside holding a sword, so that means we probably won't be seeing a sword. Anyway, there's only a 2% chance of receiving a sword as your first weapon.
Yeah, so with this version, because it has everything else randomized, they actually lowered the chance of getting a actual sword. So if you don't see the Uncle walking out with a sword, you're not going to see a sword. So let's see what they're going to be getting today.
And it's the fire rod. Wow, that's one of the fastest weapons you can get through to get through the escape.
Yes, it's a very nice one. It's going to be easy to farm for bombs. Let's see if they get an early bomb.
Well, there you go.
Never mind. I will stop my sentence, and we will enjoy the bombs they get from the chest. That's always nice to have. Now, one thing about the fire rod is it uses a lot of magic, so you need to use it sparingly. The fact that they got bombs from a chest, that's pretty nice. They're not going to be wasting a lot of time on killing enemies.
Yeah, that's true. I guess Finalflame's name called it, getting the fire rod, and also getting those bombs to blow stuff up. This is going to be all about fire. This what my gut feeling tells me.
Yeah, early fire rod is going to be interesting if they get early Dark World access, because then they can go straight up to Skull Woods. There's a lot of things that come into play with having the fire rod so early. They're going to be able to do the torches and things like that for, let's say, Basement of Hera or having to clear Desert Palace. So they're not going to be locked out of as much. Now, this doesn't qualify for lighting an area, so things are still going to be locked behind lamp, but at this level, being 2 and 1, most people take lamp as merely a suggestion.
Yep, that is true. Both of these runners very, very comfortable with their dark rooms, and fire rod will only make it way easier. For example, the turtle room in Palace of Darkness, there are torches over there, so using the fire rod to light up those torches, will make this dark room significantly more easy. And there's the hammer on dataworld side.
Early hammer is nice. That means they're going to be able to save a lot of their magic, and that gives them 2 powerful weapons. There's going to be no problem with this escape. This is going to be a breeze for both of these guys.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm biased, but I've seen a lot of multiple weapons in Escape. Is that correct?
I just ran one literally earlier today, and literally I walked out with 3 different weapons. I had Cane of Samaria, I had hammer, and I had bow. So it's seeming like a lot of early weapons are happening, almost preparing you for a no sword kind of seed. So.
Yep, that could very, very well be true. And what item do you think will troll our runners the most today?
That's a good question. I kind of have a feeling that it might be some medallions, depending on where our pendants end up, but possibly the flute. I feel like maybe Meyer Access might hold them up, and the flute's going to be just hanging out somewhere really weird, really random. So just a hunch.
Yeah, that could very, very well be true. Actually, about medallions, I've seen already 2 races today having medallions in Lumberjack Cave, making agony required.
Ooh, that would be an interesting thing. I've seen fewer Agaseeds in this version 29. It may just be what I've been watching. It might just be my timing, but it'll be interesting what we see today. Just considering right now they've got 3 bombs. They're going to be able to use 1 to get into the back 3 of Escape and check those chests. I'm curious if they're going to try and farm maybe a little bit more, or just basically opt to buy the bombs if they get money, that is. Because right now, first time in a while, I've seen them just not have any rupees going into the back of Escape. So they may not have money to get bombs in the village. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, not a very wealthy seed so far. However, we still have that tree pool awaiting our runners, as well as the bush crab, and 2 bombs is enough to clear the north part of Kakariko. And you'll be able to find some cash in Blind's Hut, as well as in the well. And speaking of money, there's a first big 20.
Yeah, the first big 20 is definitely a waste of time. He's going to start farming possibly for a few more bombs here. I think this is what he's going to do, or at least get some things out of his way. And interestingly enough, opting to still use that fire rod to kill the rat, which I understand that. It's not fun having to chase that rat around with a hammer. The distance is not as long as a sword. So yeah, just take the easy route.
Yeah, the hammer's hitbox is so small, and we haven't seen the map yet, meaning that the map, I believe, will be in the sanctuary chest.
Oh no, he died before he got the key off that rat, so he's going to have to come back in. But the good news is, as you just see here, he is going to be able to get a little bit of magic back, and he's not going to start too far away. He still has Zelda. He's going to start right outside of that door, that push door. So it's not too much of a time loss. It's still a time loss. Dataworld's going to be exiting right at about 550 of the escape. It's going to be about a 620 for Finalflame.
Oh, and I was wrong. Apparently the map was already picked up in Escape, meaning that there was another item in Sanctuary. Unfortunately, only an arrow capacity upgrade. And let's see where Dataworld ups to go. We get a map check, and I saw 6 crystal in Tower of Hera, and I believe there was another crystal in Eastern Palace. The last one in Desert Palace I didn't quite catch.
It was the red pendant. So Desert Palace is a usually not required pendant, and the other two are pretty valuable, considering that Hera is going to be a red crystal to get that fat fairy later on. That's going to be nice, but let's see if they get access to it. They have to find a glove, and by logic, they need to find also the lantern. So we'll see what happens there.
Yep, that is correct. And Dataworld checking out the triple, only getting small magic, and the bush crab having fairies. Opts to skip the lumberjack cave for now, so we do not know if Aghanim is blocking one of the required items this seed.
It's a very interesting bush crab. I've never seen a bush crab with fairies.
Neither have I.
Checking the tree pool there, just coins. Just 1 rupee. So no, I'm calling them coins in Finalflame as Sonic. So yeah, that's a trick. Did he check the mushroom spot? Did he check that first and then come back to the bush crab? I didn't see that.
Yeah, he did. It was only a blue rupee, so not gonna up to pick that up.
So what is the village going to have for us today? Is it going to be full of items? Is it going to troll us? Is it going to give us nothing? Make us go to the South Hyrule? 8 bomb drop for Finalflame coming out of Escape. That's actually really nice. He's not going to have to waste any money in case Zora is needed. Flippers points to Zora.
Yup, but we're still quite far away from the Zora money, only having 88 rupees on the Dataworld side, but he will be able to stock up on some more bombs. However, there is our Ice Rod, so if Turtle Rock is a required crystal this seed, our runners won't be having to look all over the place for the elusive Ice Rod at some seeds.
Yeah, getting that early Turtle Rock package, and Finalflame's trying to go for that fairy, and it just kind of took a left turn and not letting him grab the fairy. That was pretty amusing. But he's checking the lumberjack cave, just a piece of heart, nothing too much. Got our first sword, so early sword for these runners. That's gonna be nice. But if they find the lantern, a sword upgrade, or the cape, that might be pointing towards Aga for Dark World access.
Yep, that is correct. But once these runners will reach the Dark World, they can immediately up to clear out Skull Woods, as you need a sword to cut down the vine, and of course the fire rod to get into the back of Skull Woods. So it might take them there as soon as they get to the Dark World.
Yeah, and there's a high chance that really, just because 2 of the final pendants are going to be in Dark World, there's a bigger chance that you're going to end up using these items for Skull Woods, because you've got what you need. It's probably going to be a crystal. They're probably going to be able to clear that out right away. So, and they also they got Hammer early too, so Thieves Town's going to be a quick clear too. As soon as they find that glove upgrade in the Moon Pearl, they're going to be able to actually get right into the Thieves Town area. So
Yeah, that's correct. And in the Chicken Hut, dataworld just picked up his Cane of Brian, meaning that the blind fight will not be as scary with only 4 hearts and green mill, as the Cane of Brian makes a pretty good quick work of the blind boss.
Yeah, it's a very good safety to have. It's definitely one of the easier methods. I missed that. Was that just a arrow upgrade?
I'm not quite sure.
Yes, just an arrow upgrade, confirming that.
And we saw a bubble containing a fairy in the race game, and dataworld opts to skip it for now. But this might be the bottle required to visit the sick kid and to get off his item is if the other 3 bottles stay elusive through the seed.
Yeah, that's a very interesting skip. I'm surprised he did that, because that was another. You're not too far away from there to go back and check sick kid real quick, and that could have been a critical progression item. It could have been something that he needs, like Bo, to clear out Eastern early, you know? No telling, but it could very easily just be nothing as well. So we'll see what happens here.
Yep, and besides the sword and the ice rod, for my standards, Kakariko was quite empty, so it might be holding something good.
Flippers were also there.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. The flippers were there.
I mean,
I didn't see it marked on the dataworld's tracker, but Finalflame's tracker has it marked.
I still kind of agree with you though. Even with flippers is a good item to kind of be able to route in a couple other things, but it's really for early routing in Swamp Palace. And even then, flippers don't give you much else. Just it allows you to go through Swamp Palace because fake flippers is a thing. Once you get Moon Pearl, you can check the waterfall. Flippers is only med, so the fact that they did get a sword, that's good. But Ice Rod, that's nice. It was only so-so. The fact that they found Ice Rod, it does take away a troll item that can't be blocked, but pretty much by anything. Only thing that blocks Ice Rod is Trinex, and if Trinex is a pendant. That's it. So Ice Rod could literally be anywhere.
Yep, fortunately they found it already, and seems that Mini Moldorm Cave, except for some hearts and half magic, also did not yield any progression so far.
Half magic is very nice to have. I will say that, especially considering what items they have. They have a lot of items that use magic. That's also going to make the thief's blind fight way easier.
Yeah, that is true. Same goes for the Mafia fight. Being able to fire off 16 of those fire rod shots will make quick work of Mothly Lock.
Absolutely will. And Finalflame is choosing to go ahead and do the race game. We'll see if he goes back to Sick Kid. I don't see why he wouldn't.
Yeah, it's a short walk from where he's at right now. And meanwhile, we get a hobo check from dataworld, only having some bombs. What was the hobo thinking? Blowing up the bridge?
we have the terrorist Hyrule under the bridge there. Oh man. So yeah, he's heading towards Sick Kid. So we're gonna see. We have a routing divergence here with the fact that dataworld did not get the bottle. Finalflame did. So this is the first time that we're seeing something new that dataworld hasn't already done that Finalflame will do. So let's see here. What is? It's a single rupee. So totally progression worthy. We need that for Zora, don't we?
Yep, pickpocketing the Sick Kid of his savings of only 1 green rupee. Yeah, will get us a little bit closer to the Zora money. But yeah, meanwhile, dataworld opting to check out the Ice Road Cave. A very out of the way location. However, having boots or having flippers, well, it's a little bit faster of a check. And having only bombs.
Everywhere's giving bombs. That's so just so trolly. I'm going to be interested to see what Finalflame does here, because a lot of people have been routing in Agina's cave over by Desert Palace and with doing the dam. So it's something that I've adopted because it just seems to be one of those locations that control you just enough before you actually head that way without a hook or a way to actually get to the desert. So people will route that in, go to do that, save and quit, go back to Link's house, and then come down, do Mini Moldorm, and go to Ice Rod Cave. So that way it takes care of all of South Hyrule. So I'm going to be interested to see what Finalflame actually decides to do. So
Well.
much for fake flippering and doing the waterfall, because the Moon Pearl was in the waterfall. That's a good find. We're one step closer to Dark World access if we find the gloves, which very possibly could be on Zora.
Yep, and no Zora money, meaning dataworld has to save and quit out. And besides those locations, well, our runners still do not have any access up to Death Mountain. So the eastern area play will be his next play. And looking at the items so far, Agnes Cave might as well have something.
Now, there are 6, we'll say anywhere between 5 to 6 items possible over in eastern area. You check Saha's hut, that's 3 guaranteed, and then you're going to get anywhere between 2 to 3 from eastern, because 1 could be on the boss, and we don't have the bow yet. So anywhere between 5 to 6 items are available over here. It's a heavy, dense area. So where is it going to lead us after that? Could it lead us to Desert Palace? Could it lead us to Aghanim? Could it lead us to further down in eastern? We don't know. So we'll see what happens, because Saha's hut, empty. Nothing there.
Yeah, interesting. A whole bunch of nothing there. So that means only 2 or 3 items left in Eastern Palace. And after that, yeah, our runners also cannot sequence break up to Death Mountain without the gloves, of course. So Agnes Cave will be the only thing left after this.
If we find... Let's assume that Aginas has lamp. That means we're probably going to find a sword upgrade here, or the cape. We're going to find one of those two. If we see one of those two, you can either be assured the lamp is right behind it, or it's in Agina's cave. There's just no doubt in my mind. So honestly, if they find lamp here, that's pointing towards early Aga. That's just going to do it. So that's one of the 3 items out of the way. So if we find a big key in this next chest, then we'll be able to check the big key chest and probably get all the items out of here without having to worry about an item being caught on Armos Knights. So let's see what ends up happening. Now, Finalflame's doing the same checks that dataworld did, so he's going to be going the same route, leaving Aginas behind, which, not a bad play. Again, some players are adopting it, some aren't.
Yeah,
So,
that is true, and it might even come to the play that our runners will have to farm up another 300 rupees to make the Zora play, because Zora is in logic having those flippers.
absolutely, as well as if these runners know how to do a quick Houlihan room, that'll solve that rupee problem. That's a very easy way to get 255 rupees, I think it is, or around 250.
225.
225, yeah, I know it's somewhere around that range. So let's see what he gets here. There is an item on Armos Knights, so they're going to have to find the big key in the dark room, which is going to be sequence breaking. That means that the lantern, probably on Agina. So they're probably going to end up finding their sword upgrade inside that big chest or the cape. One of those two.
That could very well be, as well as maybe Agnes Cave is holding a glove.
That's also true. That is also true. I kind of... the glove could be here as well. Because if they get the glove here, that means they would have had to go to Aginas first and then come back over here. It's just they sequence broke that. So if they find the glove here, then their Dark World access is there. I guess I'm just hoping for an Aga. I haven't commentated on an Aga Siege yet. I wanted to happen.
Oh, could be very well commentator's curse. Or would you call it a blessing? I don't know.
Burn the witch. I don't mind. Let's see what's coming out, dataworld. Let's see if dataworld does the quick little trick that you can do. Yes, okay, he went for it and got it perfectly. Good job.
Yep,
So,
damage boosting yourself into the antivirus, picking up that pod and pushing the button down straight away gets you the treasure chest to appear.
yeah, and when you're doing the any percent or like a Master Sword run in MG, it's only a heart and a half, and you're doing it with very few hearts. And that was just money. So that's probably a glove in Agina then.
Wow, so, and Zora is still open as well. So 2 more item locations, and for Dataworld actually 3, because he didn't pick up his Fairy in the Bottle yet, so has yet to check out the Sick Kid, which we know, of course, has nothing.
Yeah, Yeah, which we know is not even enough for a pack of gum at this point. So let's see what Agina's going to have. That's the next check, which obviously you're not going to waste time on Zora. Now, if he does a smart move here, he may take a little bit of a detour south. Nope, he's passing up the rupees that are available and the little thief guy here. That probably would have been a good stop to be able to go ahead and plan for Zora just in case.
Yeah, well, the thing is, he doesn't have gloves to open up the Thief's Cave.
If he had gloves, he'd have Dark World access.
Exactly.
Right? These are the things that I should remember.
Yeah, but the thing is, this can easily slip your mind because there's also, oh wow, only a piece of heart, meaning Zora will have her progression item.
Yes. Okay, so Zora is progression. He's gonna have to do Houlihan Room or find a place to. The best place to farm, probably without doing Houlihan Room, is it's in the village. It's in CAC, because you can drop down the well, grab those few rupees there. You can also drop down and do Blind's Hut and get those rupees in the back of Blind's Hut. They are not exactly the quickest. They're a very time-consuming loop, but that's a pretty good way to farm if you're not comfortable with doing Houlihan.
Yeah, I believe there's also a rupee room in the back of Eastern Palace, which you will be able to access if you know the dark rooms. I'm not sure about the rupee amount, maybe 80 or 90. But besides that, yeah, I think our runners will opt to go to check the Houlihan cave. Of course, having those flippers in hand, they cannot get easy access to Houlihan, but they can still use the bomb damage boost into the grave.
Yeah. Now, no, they can't. They can't.
Oh, you're right. No
they
gloves.
Don't have gloves. They don't have gloves. Oh, Lord. I'm sitting here thinking about this. I'm like, how are they going to do Houlihan Room? I really don't know how they're going to be able to do it. And Aga's dead because there's only one item location left, and we need 2 items for Aga. We need a cape, a sword upgrade, either one of those, and the lamp. So Aga's done.
We can deduct that Zora is holding onto a glove or something leading to the glove, for example, the mushroom or the powder.
Yeah, and the powder is accessible because we do have hammer. And he's going to be doing the blind deal here. That's very interesting to see. I'm glad he knows about that, because that's just kind of a trolly thing that if you don't have access to Houlihan Room, how are you going to farm? And you just start killing things and running around in circles. I don't have gloves, and oh man, it can be frustrating. Now here's something too. Zora could have book.
Yep, that also gets her runners access to Desert Palace, of course.
Could also have boots.
Also very, very true. Access to the bunk spots. Which is only 1 at the moment because they do not have the Titan Smiths to get to the King's Tomb.
Mm-hmm. That would be very interesting to see if it was like boots into the Bonk Rocks to boot, so that way they could clear the pendant Desert Palace.
Oh wow, this is interesting. A thing that Chad is bringing up. Zora could have the flute as well, so that our runners could flute up to Death Mountain.
And that would give them access to 1 more item. That's very true. So yeah, it would be then it would have to be Lantern or another progression item. So there's a few items they could have. It would be a pretty long, goofy train if it was something other than gloves, because gloves is immediate Dark World access, and then the world opens up quite a bit more because they have pretty much full Dark World access with flippers and hammer. So
yeah, I think it's gonna be gloves. I'm hoping it for runners to be gloves, so they can get away with this rupee farming and just head straight into the Dark World and open up the world. And that world, meanwhile, only on 350 rupees at this moment, farming up only 30 rupees at a time in Blind's Hut. Yeah, this will take some time, and yeah, I'm not sure if he starts to feel behind, but yeah.
Yeah, and he of course he doesn't have the knowledge we do. We know Finalflame took an unfortunate death in the escape sequence, and you got to feel behind, because if you what if your opponent did Houlihan before getting flippers? What if they decided to go do Houlihan before getting flippers? That's such a weird thing to feel, but when you start thinking and you start talking to yourself, you're like, oh no, what if? And you just start thinking these what if situations, and you're spending all this time farming 30 rupees at a time. You do not feel good. You don't feel like this is okay. But all in all, Finalflame is not too far behind Dataworld, because he's going to just start farming. He already checked sick kit, so he doesn't have to do that right now. So he's just going to start farming. He's going to figure out where he's going to get that. He's going to head to Zora. There you go. Right now it's a race to Zora, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, very true. Of course, the early Houlihan play from the Sanctuary is a very common play in Key Sanity, which of course does not have a lot of rupees in the beginning of the game usually. However, in this standard tournament, I've seen a few players opt to get that Houlihan money before heading into Kakariko, being sure that they are able to buy off the bottle vendor and be able to get those extra bombs from the shop as well.
Yeah, I've seen a few players do that and end up just solving their money problems right off the bat, because they find maybe A300, it's all spent, and they want the worry gone, and I understand that. And they do take somewhat of a time loss early. If you're going to take a time loss, do it early. Don't wait to get a time loss, because that's when critical seconds just hurt so much more. Because go mode, if you're closer to go mode, it just seems so much more of a pain to lose that time. So 501, he's stopping. He's opting to go ahead and just go straight to Zora. No extra, no buffer. He says, let's do this.
Yeah, go for it. Enough is enough. Of course, runners will still need 110 rupees to get into Palace of Darkness, if it's required, of course, and if there are required items over there. As well as 80 rupees for the digging game, and another 30 rupees for the treasure chest game. But I think that's going to be the least on the runner's mind at this moment of time.
And you actually need a small amount of rupees for the blacksmiths. So
I think that's 10 rupees, right?
Yeah, it's only 10, but at the same time, it's like that. All that little bit adds up. When you talk about 80, 110, an extra 10, 50, all of it adds up. So you should find rupees. You should find rupees somewhere, because we've seen only a bunch of big 20s. We haven't seen a single 300 drop yet. So those are out there. Those are bound to show up. So let's see what the troll item of the day is. It's definitely value. There's no other spot. So let's see what kind of value it is. I didn't even think about shovel. What if he gives shovel and it leads to vanilla?
Very possible.
Vanilla flute or something. It's a glove.
It's a glove, yeah.
Okay, so we have Dark World access. He's going to be going back to Sanctuary, heading over. At this
or
point,
Hype Cave, maybe.
Hype Cave's a good one too.
Yeah,
Hype Cave's a good one too.
Gonna go for that. 5 easy treasure chests, or 5 easy items.
Yeah, Hype Cave's a very good one too. I tend to not forget Hype Cave, but I just feel like Hype Cave doesn't pay off as much as it used to. It may have one item and I know it's there, so I can go check it as soon as I need to, if I have the right items. But I tend to go towards the Village of Outcasts as soon as I can. And we've got nice
pendant Turtle Rock, and I believe there was the green pendant in Swamp Palace. But yeah, what if Hype Cave has those 5 300 rupees prizes here?
That I would classify that as hype. That would be hype to me. That's hilarious.
Yeah, there's one.
Did you do it? Okay, sword upgrade. Oh, maybe Uncle just stashed his swords here in his package here. That's a slight hype cave. Sword upgrade's nice, especially for going into Moth. Because with what he has, though, I'm surprised he didn't just step out of Hype Cave and go check a couple other places. Because he could have walked right over to the left and gone up the south way, checked Stumpy, gone to Dig Game, since he got the 300, and maybe got those out of the way. But he's going to go back towards Village of Outcasts and go ahead and go towards heavy, dense areas. Not a bad play. That's actually very smart.
Yeah, both are fine, I guess, because if there's nothing here, he will probably take the south route after having cleared out the Village of Outcasts. Still gets the digging game and Stumpy out of the way, of course.
Yeah, so real quick, while we are on the way to go get into the Village of Outcasts or Skullwoods, whichever way Dataworld decides to go, and Finalflame is getting his last bit for 500, I want to do a quick shout out for our tracker, Demon's Druid, doing an amazing job. Thank you very much for that. As well as to our runners who are providing your entertainment, Dataworld and Finalflame. Please give them a follow. To our whole Speed Gaming crew, doing a fantastic job running this just plethora of runs and races for you, as well as my co-commentator Class Hayabusa. I cannot speak today. Thank you very much for commentating with me today.
That is all right. I'm already having a blast here with this Zora required seed, having to farm up rupees. So yeah, big shout out to you two as well. And I think we still have a very, very exciting race still coming up, of course. And Dataworld, meanwhile, going into Skullwoods with the Fire Rod. Let's see if he opts to complete it. But yeah, knowing his skill level, I'm quite sure he will, as it's a crystal.
I would. You have half magic. You have a you do have low hearts, and you do have well, pseudo low hearts, but you have half magic. You have half magic Fire Rod. You've got level 2 sword. There's no reason to go through and do it. So.
Yep, and he does it in a very, very good way. He decides to check out the back first, because if Mafia is holding on to one of the dungeon items and the other item is in the back as well, you can completely skip the front portion of Skullwoods. So I totally agree with this play. Of course, the first item already being picked up by Dataworld, which was 50 rupees in the room after the Gyptos. And Finalflame also buying his expensive gloves from King Zora, opting to also head straight to Hype Cave. Let's see if he decides to check out some more of the Dark World southern side.
Yeah, right now, Finalflame is just playing pickup sticks with Dataworld. Dataworld's getting all these locations, and Finalflame is just following suit. There's going to be a routing change soon. I know it's going to happen, without a doubt. So, and we're on that moth fight already. He's down to 2 hearts, though. He needs to be careful here. Oh, at least he took the hit to. There we go. He took the hit to the spike and not to Mothula. Mothula would have killed him. The spike does 1 heart of damage no matter what actual.
It is interesting because if you grab those progressive mills, for example, you have red mill, you will probably take damage from Mothula rather than from spikes, because it decreases the damage. However, spikes will always deal 1 damage, 1 heart of damage. Doesn't matter what kind of mill you are wearing.
Exactly. The color of your clothes does not protect you from a spike damage. It's still 1. So.
And Dataworld was, by the way, very, very safe, as he still had the fairy in the bottle. So no worries whatsoever at the Mothula fight. And yeah, there's a lamp.
We have our lamp. So that's interesting that the Fire Rod was locking the lamp. And yeah, so that is just an interesting spot for that lamp. Now, Finalflame is actually doing the route divergence that I discussed, going south and going ahead and checking Stumpy and getting the dig game out of the way. Stumpy not paying off, though, so let's see if the dig game gives us something. It'll be interesting to see, for sure.
Yep, and the lamp hiding in the back of Skullwoods means that Dataworld does not have to check any part else of Skullwoods and go straight to either the Village of Outcasts or, of course, check out the bumper cave ledge if it has something for us today.
Yeah, he saves a lot of time because while it's not too hard to drop down and check those areas, the fact that he doesn't have to, he saves at least a couple minutes. So it's definitely well worth it.
And nope, seems he's going straight into the Village of Outcasts, going for the C-shaped house. And of course, he's gonna clear out Thieves Town as well, as it's a crystal, and he does have the hammer. So the big chest of Thieves Town will be accessible right away. Does not have to come back for that later.
That's always a good thing, because that sits in the back of your mind if you have to do that. Finalflame doing the same thing that happened earlier. You know, he checked Sick Kid, only got a penny. He's just checked the other 2 locations, didn't get much out of them. So he's got 2 locations that dataworld doesn't, that just didn't come up with much. So I'm sure sooner or later they may be checked by dataworld, but if we end up getting just what tends to happen in version 29, you find one item and then boom, 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 a bunch of other items. They may come up later in that single item not being found check. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of these V29 seeds seem to give you a lot of the required items early on, having one of the items being very elusive to the runners. What do you think about this?
To me, that's what I've been experiencing. Literally that. It's like, it gives you the flood of items and it's like, hey, pick a spot. Go somewhere. And you're just searching for one item and it's, well, where was that item? And that's it. It's very different from what I've experienced with other versions. It's not anything I've ever experienced before. So is it fun? Sometimes, depending on what item it is. Sometimes it's very fun to sit there and just kind of get that heart pumping going. Well, okay, am I behind because of this? Is it somewhere I put off, or is it here? Is it there? You just start questioning things. And sometimes, though, if it's in that location that just takes forever to get to because of this fetch quest, that fetch quest, and it's this long chain, it gets frustrating. Sometimes you're like, okay, why is this a thing? Why is this a thing? So
I'm still not sure about my opinion of it. Sometimes I like it, like the luck that gets involved with the randomizer, as some of these very well executing players still lose to some of the newcomers. So it makes racing very interesting, even if you're not really comfortable yet with the game so far. The tournament was very, very welcome to almost everybody, all skill levels. I've seen very exciting matches of very, very experienced players still taking a loss to somewhat newer players. So I'm not sure, mixed feelings.
Yeah, anything can happen. That's definitely the motto of Randomizer. Anything goes, anything can happen. It's all random. So I appreciate that aspect, actually. It makes it to where a lot of times, if it comes down to execution, yes, the better players are going to win. But if the right check is made and the right gamble is made, a newer player can win against somebody who is just insanely skilled, which I want to make a big shout out to a lot of the developers of Randomizer that have put a lot of time and effort into this to make this as well thought out and well developed and just so polished. It's very polished. So they've done a fantastic job. I do not know all their names, and I don't want to single any one person out, even though I do know a few of them. But the developers, as you will see in the very end of this, you will see their names, as well as like the Discord community and stuff like that. Never feel like you can't get into this. Never feel like you can't get into this. There's always people willing to help. There's always resources available. Please reach out to somebody. So
yeah, that is very true. I really want to add to that. Even if you're hesitant to join right now, or if you think, well, I'm way too late for this, everybody already got so good. I only got into Randomizer only 2 or 3 months ago. Same goes for dataworld. I believe Finalflame is around for almost half a year, but you're never too late, and we're very welcoming. So if you want to try it out, go for it. Definitely go for it.
Yeah, I myself, Finalflame's using that ferry, by the way. That's a critical thing to kind of think about between our runners right now when this gets down to the wire. If that ferry is still sitting around, where dataworld can use that later on. But I myself, I've been around for a couple years. I've been always been around for Link to the Past. I played that when it was released back on the SNES a long time ago. But dataworld's starting the fight against Blind, which is actually a scriptable fight, and he's doing very good on that. He's very close to this. So he's not opting.
Did you catch what he just picked up?
I missed what he picked up. What did he get? The Cane of Samaria.
The Cane.
Oh man, the Cane of Samaria. I missed that.
Yeah, very, very required for Misery Meyer, of course. However, only a myths and a medallion away for Turtle Rock access as well. Being a pendant, it might be luring our runners to it at this moment of time.
And he gets a bee in a bottle for his time with Blind. So Blind keeping a pet bee. The Turtle Rock thing is interesting. That's another thing that I've noticed in version 29. It likes to make you go independent Turtle Rock. It loves to do that.
Yep, it certainly does. Speaking of which, I've seen a lot of races made or break on Pen and Turtle Rock, and not sure if I'm biased, but I believe like almost half of the seeds have Pen and Turtle Rock. Not sure why, but
it's I've not seen it as much as I like. I personally, Turtle Rock is my least favorite dungeon. I don't like the fact you can't go mode it. There is no such thing as go mode Turtle Rock. There's God mode, but it's still pretty long. You can't save much time. So I'm not a fan of it. So when I see Pendant Turtle Rock, I kind of groan. When I see Turtle Rock as a crystal, I still groan. It's like I have to do it almost no matter what. So, but dataworld's going to be doing the checks that Finalflame has done, and Finalflame's going to be getting his final 50 rupees here. It's going to be interesting to see where dataworld goes next, because he's got his second crystal. So right now he's kind of limited where he can go.
Yeah, we still have the east side of the Dark World open to us. They might be thinking to dip into Pod, as well as check out the Pyramid or Catfish.
Death Mountain.
Death Mountain. You're right. Lamp and gloves.
Yep, Death Mountain. We've got that Death Mountain pack. I was honestly forgetting that they haven't even gone up there. So, yeah, that's
Could very well be, but it could be a short visit if the mirror or the hookshot is not there.
Very true. They're gonna have to get that. I feel like their progression may be there, either on Old Man or in the cave. Vanilla Mirror would be very interesting to see. I would like to see that, actually.
Yeah, it's a very nice check anyway, because you also get the save point from the Old Man, so that you are able to get back to Death Mountain as soon as you'd like after this.
Yeah, I usually try to do Old Man as quickly as I can, even if I have to do it as a sequence break, because it's so critical without the flute to have that. Just really easy to save and quit and go back up there once you find the hook shot. And if they find the mirror, they're going to be able to get to East Death Mountain without actually having the hook shot, because they can go over by Hera and go off through the hammer pegs over to the right. So
yeah, one item down from the Old Man, just a big piece of love from him. One item still, of course, on Spectacle Rock, which can be checked at this moment of time, and one inside of Spectacle Rock, which will be our final item here on Death Mountain, if it's not the mirror or the hook shot. And let's see what it is. It's just 10 arrows.
10 arrows. So yeah, that's surprised he's stepping outside Spy Cave.
Very, very interesting call, and very true, very accessible at this point with Kane of Berna and the Hammer of Course.
I love this. That's a very good check. He's keeping an eye on his items, because it completely slipped my mind that they had Kane of Brian with half magic, so that their art count don't mean anything here. And it's just going to be a quick save and quit from here. Yeah, that's a very good check. Dataworld's showing the knowledge of what goes where. That's really awesome to see. What is he going to get? He's going to get a health refill for his time. Getting a fourth piece of heart there. So Pod, Pyramid, Catfish. That's really the if you want to call it the 3 Ps, because of the pesky catfish.
Yeah.
So
yeah, pesky is quite the description for catfish, I think. Yeah. Well, so far still a pretty linear seed, I think.
For the most part, it hasn't really been too deceptive. It's almost like Dataworld was kind of planning on it being deceptive. Like, yeah, I'm going to go up the mountain even though I have very few checks. It's going to have something. Well, it's not bad to get those out of the way, like we said, save and quit spot. But he very well could find Flute and Pod, and that would have just eliminated the need for that save and quit spot. So, yeah, he's going to go straight to Pod. Not a bad move. I know some people may have gone the Pyramid Catfish route just because they're one of locations, but this is I item density locations. Dataworld's definitely gotten that down to a science.
Yeah, that's true. And with the hammer and the lamp, if the first chest is a key, the back of Pod is accessible as well. But if Pod is bow locked, let's see what he opts to do, because I believe he doesn't have a potion to do the potion glitch.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of potion glitch. I'm not a fan of it. It gives you access, but that is like, not many things are going to be denied to you behind bow. Bow doesn't really lock much other than Pod. So yeah, I've seen seeds do that, but to just kind of plan for it. It's not like fake flippers. It's a little bit more of a chance to go ahead and try that, in my opinion. But he does get a key, so he's going to be able to come back and go straight up the middle and check a few more chests. So that's definitely good that he's not bow locked. So Pod could hold this progression.
Yeah, very interesting find here would be the mirror, because it makes the routing of Pod a lot easier. But yeah, speaking of the first maybe progression item, it's a shovel.
Yeah. Fetch quest, man. Fetch quest for days. I don't think he's checked Stumpy yet, though, has he? No, he did. He went down and checked Stumpy. He is done. He can't do anything else here. He just realized that.
That I think it's.
He doesn't.
There might.
He doesn't have a key to get to the back. He doesn't have a key to open the big key vanilla chest, and he is bow locked. So he needs one more small key, which is going to be on that bow side.
You are correct. So yeah, that means Catfish, the Pyramid, or the shovel spot holding some progression for runners.
Yeah, he's got 3 locations, which this has also been happening a lot in version 29. Even with optimal routing, you end up getting something that sends you 2 different locations, and they are in, well, obviously 2 different locations, but 2 different far off locations. Shovel is in South Hyrule Light World, Catfish is in North Dark World Hyrule, and it's like you've got to literally route in Pyramid and Catfish by themselves, and if those don't have it, you have to go all the way back down to Shovel. So it likes to send you all over the creation of Hyrule. So let's see what is on this ledge.
Yep, and meanwhile, Finalflame also taking very good care of that scripted blind fight. He shows that he knows his patterns very well. Up to finish with the Cane of Verna, as his hearts are only down to 3.
I would have done the same thing. I'd have done the same thing. I if I have it, I use it. There's no reason not to. Yeah, it's lag strats, but you don't lose that much to just be safe. So.
Oh, definitely, and down to only 2 more locations, as the Pyramid had nothing.
What was it? I actually missed the check itself. I saw him just immediately nope out from it.
I didn't quite catch what it was, but it was so fast that I believe it was nothing.
Yeah, 5 rupees. It was just blue. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Straight nope out. It's like, yeah, you needed all this money earlier. Here, have more.
Have more, maybe Catfish holding on to another 300 rupee hoard, and then having to do the shovel spot as the final place, final location left for progression.
Man, that's so rough. So rough. I'm interested to know where Finalflame is going. Where could he be heading right now? Pod. He's going to Pod.
Well, there's our progression.
That's still a weak progression, though. Now that, you know what that does kind of open, though? Kind of opens
Swampella's?
a swamp dip, yeah. Without hookshot, I might add. But I know it opens up Hera as well. He's going up to Hera.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And, of course, Eastside Death Mountain, as he can hammer down those pegs.
Yeah, he's reading this right. He's reading this seed correctly.
But still, might yield nothing having a runner's yeah, to check out, for example, the cave south of Grove with the mirror, or, of course, the graveyard ledge.
And also, when they find the boots, they can do King's Tomb. Now, here's something interesting. Is Finalflame going to go over to Catfish, or is he going to go down to Pod? Is he going to do the Pod dip? Or is he going to actually do it? He's going...
It'd be very good, and he does it. It will be very good for him to find his mirror here, because, yeah, he will probably follow dataworld right up to Death Mountain.
Yeah, so he's going to skip a lot of behind time. I mean, dataworld's been pretty decisively ahead for most of this because of that early death from Finalflame, and it's going to be a good catch up here, so he can actually start heading in the right direction. No coffee break today quite yet, so we have seen one item. Chances are, as far as percentages go, the other item is going to be up here somewhere. It's going to be in the top. If we see an early key, probably in the basement, so we'll see what happens here. And Finalflame's going to be happy to see this mirror. And so far, my prediction might be coming true. That flute has still been MIA.
Yeah, you're right. Very, very truly, and very required with Misery Mine being Crystal.
How comfortable is he with this bomb? Okay, so he's going to...
Yeah, this is a very interesting setup. You can bomb yourself to the exact correct location and yeah, put down another bomb to get the bomb jump in one go.
Yeah, that was very well done. I've seen quite a few people do that. Very smoothly done there.
Yeah, because without the boots, I believe it's a pixel perfect technique. With the boots, maybe 4 pixels.
I was actually speaking to a couple of folks about that that are really well known in this community. Dory or Cellcraft, Shaft, I always mispronounce her name, and Corality, about another way to do that. You can actually charge your sword up and start to do the spin as you're kind of getting to the edge and dipping down. And when you come back up, you will not do your spin until you're back on solid ground. So it'll put you on that pixel perfect. It's a little bit harder to practice, but once you get it down, it becomes a pretty easy thing to do. So it's another method for sure. And we have to do coffee break. So
yep, Moldorm down. And coffee break time. And I think if you have the hook shot, there's actually another way to avoid that bomb jump, because if you fail it, you will fall down 2 floors. However, with the hookshot in hand, you can hookshot yourself to the big chest, place a bomb, walk a circle around the chest, and bomb jump yourself back. It's actually the method I prefer to do.
Yeah, I've seen that a couple times as well. It was very interesting. I did not know that was a method until just recently. I've seen a couple different interesting ways to do it. Somebody has walked with the bomb around, thrown it against the chest. Somebody put the bomb in the chest and walked around, and it's pretty amusing to watch. So.
Yeah, well, that's another very interesting aspect of Randomizer. Yeah, you never stop learning. I believe the potion glitch as well, to get into Bowlock Pod, or to skip the first Mimic Room in Against Tower, was only discovered recently.
Yeah. Now the first Mimic Room against Tower is not as beneficial, because you still need to get past the second room. But if you need to save arrows, if you're down to, let's say, 4 or 5 arrows, and you need to get to that second room to pick some up and get past those, it's a good way to conserve arrows. If you have a potion you can waste. So, and no progression. It's probably going to be definitely going to be an East Death Mountain.
Well, big chance for it to be in Death Mountain, but could also very well be on Graveyard Ledge or the Cave South of Grove, of course, which might be Trolly.
Or still
Swamp.
Don't forget about Shovel, and also Shovel's there too. So
Shovel.
There's quite a few openings that are around right now. Definitely nothing is locked away. This is no longer pigeonholed like they were. A lot of checks to do, and get your resident sleepers in chat. We're gonna go on a quick nap run here. Gonna sleepwalk through this wonderful cave of Spiral. Just listen to the sultry sounds of my voice.
An interesting thing to bring up, we're almost 1 hour into the seed, and we haven't seen the boots yet, so Finalflame, he might be feeling happy about this.
Yeah, right? Finalflame is definitely going, yay, I don't have to worry about weird routing with boots. And dataworld's probably sitting here going, oh, when am I going to find them? As of right now, they may not even be required, so we'll again see about that, because desert's not required as far as what we're seeing. Could be big key on torch, you don't know, maybe?
Yeah, you never know. Still a lot of miracles happening. And meanwhile, Dating World finding his Titan's myths here on Eastside Death Mountain. A very convenient find, as he'll be able to check out Super Bunny Cave right away. And of course, which medal is required for Turtle Rock? If, of course, Turtle Rock ends up being required as a pendant.
Very cleanly done on that room too, dropping that second bomb. I've started doing that strat myself. Finalflame did take a fall to Moldorm. Bo as well, so he can head back into pod and full clear pod. Actually, as far as routing goes, this helps Finalflame a lot more than Dataworld. Even though Finalflame's going to have to do a full clear of pod, it allows for him to actually do the full clear and not have to double dip. So we're going to see our Dark World Death Mountain and get those checks real quick. That's going to be great. So.
Yeah, very good for Finalflame. He will be able to clear out pod in one go. Doesn't have to double dip it, saving well, at least I think 1 or 2 minutes, to say the least. And he's catching up quite well. Of course, having to do his coffee break here on Hera, getting his second item. Unfortunately, nothing. I believe it was a bomb capacity upgrade, so nothing too special.
Yeah, nothing too much. Honestly, it's kind of surprising. We're not finding many items in dungeons right now. This is all overworld checks where we're getting these items. So I'm kind of interested to see when we find a very important item in a dungeon. That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, very interesting indeed. It seems to be something of this week. I've seen a lot of overworld being required in comparison to dungeons. Yeah, we'll get to see the Turtle Rock required medal, and it's Ether and Dataworld Ops, of course, to save him quit out. Let's see where he's heading next, but of course he's probably gonna opt to clear out Eastern Palace and Pod, as it are required crystals, and he'll be able to do it in one go. Having the mirror makes the routing so a lot more efficient.
Exactly. Way easier to do with a mirror, because you can just do one, finish it, step out, mirror, go back into the other. It's really quick. And he does have the benefit of knowing that that Eastern Palace is an item as well. So he still has an item sitting on Armos Knights that could be very important if this seed stays as linear. And as one of our wonderful admins is pointing out, Rick, the Super Bunny Cave is that Dark World cave. And again, the reason why it's called Super Bunny Cave is there is a minor glitch that you can do by going into the Dark World and falling down a hole. As the bunny without the moon pearl, when you fall, there is no falling animation, and it puts you into a state to where you can open chests and use some items. It's called Super Bunny. So it allows you to kind of do a minor glitch in the game.
Yeah, interesting that you bring that up. There's actually a second kind of Super Bunny cave in the game, which is the Mire Shed. If you damage boost yourself off one of the murder dactyls and you are not in possession of the moon pearl, you can damage boost yourself into the Mire Shed, and you will be able to access those two items there as a bunny as well.
Yeah, there's a few different spots that are very well-documented spots to do that in that help you get items early if you want to learn those glitches. Now we're getting some old checks from Finalflame and new checks from Dataworld real quick while he's going through this bow side of pod. Things that I suggest you look into. Logic is the main thing you need to learn first whenever you're getting into this. It's a very important deal here. So
Yeah, that is true. Being able to read the logic will give you a lot of advantages. And looking at dataworld sides, he's very good in reading the logic so far. Knowing that, of course, Spy Cave was in logic already, and he's following it very well, I believe.
And both keys, like I expected, because he's going to need those keys to get first back to the back left, as well as need the other key to check the Harmless Hellway, as well as the left side. The Harmless Hellway is probably going to be a key as well. It's a very common occurrence. So we'll see what goes on here. I'll be interested to see if he tries to do the hammer jump here. No, he's gonna skip doing it. He doesn't have the big key yet, so that makes sense. No, he does have the big key. He got the big key earlier. That's what locked him out of it.
Yeah, he does. He does have the big key. If he decided to hammer jump, he could have saved a little bit of time hammer jumping yourself there in the dark maze, going back through the upper small key door, and going back through the Harmless Hellway to Helmsor. But yeah, having that mirror in hand, he can also, of course, opt to use the mirror after having checked the big chest, and just go back straight to the beginning of the dungeon and go to Helmsor from there. So far, nothing too much of value here in the backside of Pod. Just a piece of heart and big 20 just now. And yeah, getting that mirror set up to warp back to the beginning of the dungeon and off to face Helmsor King after having checked out the big chest containing only bombs.
Again, these dungeons are empty. There's nothing in these dungeons right now.
Yeah, quite surprised.
That's an uncommon thing. Watch Swamp have our major progression. Watch Swamp have something like the hook shot, because, you know, Swamp with hook shot. So,
yeah, why not? And having hookshot and Argus dropping the green pendant, and of course Azrael holding on to another progression item. What do you think about that?
yeah, it's very possible. Just this is a surprising seed. I've not seen really any. There's been no items in these dungeons. There's nothing important. So that's unheard of in any version, let alone version 29. So
yeah. Besides the lamp being in Skull Woods, I think all dungeons came up empty so far. And of course, already having a fire source, the lamp is not something that these runners really do care to find.
I mean, it does make it easier. I mean, nobody just wants to do dark rooms, but at the same time, it's I mean, there's been nothing. Because I'm trying to think of what they may have actually found other than that lamp. Bottles. They found a bottle in these places, but bottles, we already had that taken care of with the race game. So all 4 bottles have been found, but
yeah, there was the Cane of Samaria and Thief's Town. I believe that was the only major find so far in the dungeon.
Yeah, so Cane and Maiden's Chest. So yeah, Cane so far, but everything else on this tracker has literally been in overworld locations. So Cane is a big find. Don't get me wrong. Cane is a big find. It does help, and it is required to get through Misery Mire at least. But other than that, man, we're not seeing anything.
Yeah, so Helmsor King holding on to another item, as well as Armos Knights. And so far, if we look at Go mode for Dataworld and Finalflame as well, I believe we're only a flute, a medallion, and a hookshot away.
Pretty much. And possibly boots.
And possibly boots.
Yeah, I mean, like there's a couple other items that may be required as far as like what's needed. But yeah, the medallion we need. We haven't found a single medallion, and actually, that's the sad part. I said medallions and or flute, and of course, both medallions and flute are missing right now.
Very elusive. Commentator's curse.
Oh lord, yeah, burn me at the stake.
Finalflame will burn you with its flames.
Yes, I will be final flamed.
And yeah, Helmstar King only dropping a piece of heart, so Pod, yeah, besides the shovel, which still might be leading to something, yeah, coming up with nothing so far.
Yeah, and even if shovel does have something, that's finding an item that leads to an item that's in the overworld. So
of course. Yeah, so yeah, next item up is Arbos Knights, and Finalflame, yeah, following in his footsteps, will be probably doing the exact same. Hopefully there will be some divergence afterwards, so the Finalflame manages to catch us up a little bit.
So somebody mentioning Hook possibly being in Ganon's tower. With what is currently on the table, it is possible, but they need to find boots to get into Mire otherwise. Because Mire requires hookshot or boots, and other than that, yeah, that's fine. Because Ice Palace can be completed without hookshot because they have Cane of Samaria. That is something that is in the logic. So unless they find boots, no, hookshot will not be in GT. So. And Flink, yes, this channel, Speed Gaming all around, Speed Gaming 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, all show different speed runs throughout. They've been doing Shantae and the Pirate's Curse recently, Ori and the Blind Forest. There's quite a few games out there that they run that you can see. Link to the Past is a very popular game right now that is being ran, and this tournament is gigantic. So.
Yeah, that's true, and I believe the NMG Link to the Past tournament is also still ongoing. So yeah, you'll be seeing a lot of Randomizer and NMG runs these days.
And as a matter of fact, yes, Nahimi 87, that is very possible. There's no logic thing that puts the Moon Pearl accessible with rupees. Zora. Rupees are not a part of the logic for Zora because you can farm rupees in many locations. So you could get an early glove and be able to pull, pull up the rocks and actually farm those thief-looking guys for the rupees and things like that. But no, there's nothing in the logic that will give you the rupees for Zora. You have to farm them sometimes.
Yep, and Data making very, very quick work of the Arbos Knights quick kill, and it seems that he is opting to go for Ice Palace as his next play.
I like it. I'm surprised he's not going to check Fat Fairy.
Yeah,
he
Fat Fairy is on
crystals.
the table, yeah.
He has both crystals and very easy to get to there. I would have probably checked that before going in there just because of the way that this seed's been going, but then again, it's very easy to not realize your items haven't been. So we'll see what Ice may have the major progression. Ice could have the hook shot. Now he needs to find a key to make the hammer locations easier to get to, I believe. Ice Palace still gets me sometimes on logic, on what the game expects.
Yeah, I'm still quite confused with the Ice Palace logic. Sometimes hookshot is required to complete it, sometimes it's not. However, for these runners, I know they're both able to do most of the Ice Palace bomb jumps, so I think they are able to reach all the treasures without using the hookshot. So dataworld will be able to complete it fully with just the hammer.
Yeah, well, you're able to complete the entirety of Ice Palace pretty easily, even without doing a major bomb jump or anything like that. Well, the major bomb jump is the one we're about to see coming up, the literal Ice Palace bomb jump. But it is completable, and I know it is in logic for like Cold Stare to have the hook shot if you have Cane of Samaria. That's the key. Because the game is not expecting you to do this bomb jump, which he is opting to not do. Which That's interesting.
Yeah, I believe it's a little bit faster if you decide to full clear Ice Palace to just skip over the bomb jump.
Yeah, Ice Palace is one of the more very well done doing a damage boost through there. You got enough hearts, you've surprisingly enough still green mail. But at 13 hearts, 14 hearts, you're not worried about it as a runner. You don't really take that much damage from things until later. Oh, Cape, Bumper Cave. We have not checked Bumper Cave yet.
Yeah, no, we haven't seen that, and I believe this chest not containing a small key means that it in logic-wise it is hookshot locked.
Yes, logic-wise it is.
Well, to get the treasure chest, of course.
Because he's gonna have to do that coming up here shortly. So, but that's fine. Now I do know that the bomb jump that he is going to probably have to do to get those other chests. That was interesting. The way that
ice skating.
he is going like insanely fast on the left and right. Sometimes Link gets a little bit ahead of himself. Bombs.
Yeah, there's a second item already.
Yeah, cape and bombs. Just it's. Yeah, wow. See, that room, that little, I don't know, like reverse C room or whatever, with that fire bar in it. I like to bomb jump that room. I don't like, if I don't have the boots, I like to bomb jump that room because that room drives me nuts. Now he's got to get to the furthest bottom pixel, and he's there.
Yeah,
he's gonna drop that. Yeah, that's a good bomb jump. Boom, very well done. Because the way to do that bomb jump is you got to get to the very furthest bottom pixel. There is no room for error on that. So you got to get all the way down, and then you drop the bomb to the left, right on top of that block, and it will knock you down towards that. So a little bit more difficult than the other Ice Palace bomb jump, in my opinion, because it's so pixel perfect in that regard. There's very little room for adjustment there. You would continuously fall off and lose hearts. So
yeah, I believe you still have to have the last pixel being visible below Link. I believe it's like a shadow pixel of the ice. Maybe pixel perfect, but chat is mentioning that it's a 2-pixel window.
Okay. What's easy for some is not easy for others.
It is very true. And so far, yeah, nothing in Ice Palace. I believe we've seen all the items. We have seen 2 items, meaning that either the big chest or Cold Stare is holding on to the last item.
And Finalflame is getting through to Armos Knights, and he's going to find his whole lot of nothing there, and then he'll be probably heading pretty much in the same direction as dataworld, because like you said, this is pretty much going linear. He might check Shovel Spot, he might check a few of these overworld locations that are left behind. We'll definitely see.
Yeah, interesting to see what Dataworld opts to do next. He could dive into Swamp Palace, could also check out, of course, the Shovel Spot, or having picked up that cape, Bumper Ledge is open, as well as still the 2 mirror locations, the cave south of Grove, and the Graveyard Ledge as well. And into the Cold Stare fight, down to half a heart. Still has a fairy in the bottle though, so will be no problem here.
Yep, and short work of Cold Stare, doing really good with that fire and spin slashes with, and nothing on Cold Stare. Spin slashes with the Master Sword. So right now, being stingy with swords and no silvers, this is looking more and more like it might be a Master Sword Ganon. That never a fun fight. Never a fun fight.
Nope, not at all. Long and dragging.
Snowbear, no. King's Tomb cannot be done until we find boots. You have to have boots in order to open the King's Tomb. They can get to the spot with Mirror or with Mitts, but they have to actually be able to open the tomb itself. Finalflame is going to be doing the Fat Fairy check right now, which I think Dataworld's on its way to do. But this may be interesting, again, Finalflame doing a location check before Dataworld. Let's see if it happens the same way the other ones did, where it was nothing.
Yeah, very interesting, because if Finalflame finds his progression before heading into Ice Palace, he'll be able to go mode Ice Palace, saving a bunch of time.
Yeah, I doubt he's going to be able to go mode. Because it just depends on what he finds. He's going to have to find quite a bit, because we don't know what the medallion is for Misery Mire. We have not found a medallion at all, and we have not found Flute either, so we haven't even been able to check it. And there's 3 locations over there before Mire that could very well hold that medallion as well. The Shed as well as Checkerboard Cave. And lo and behold, it is nothing inside of Fat Fairy. So that's another location that Finalflame has checked before Dataworld and just held nothing.
Yeah, true. And if the cape leads to something being found in Ice Palace, will mean that he wouldn't be able to go mode it.
Wonder what Finalflame's going to be doing here. Is he going to be getting some potions real quick? Yeah, he has to be. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, maybe he's also thinking about the Ice Palace play.
I don't blame him for getting potions for going to Ice Palace. Things in Ice Palace do hurt. And green mail, we still haven't found a mail upgrade. I mean, here's the thing. Let's say we find Flute. And basically that's a congratulations, you can check 3 spots. Because even if you can check 3 spots with Flute, you still need a way to get through Mire. You need hookshot or boots to traverse that hole in the beginning of Mire. So we're still missing an item to actually get into Mire.
Yeah, and you still need to have a medallion as well to get into Mire before actually getting or putting the hookshot or boots to use.
Yeah, of course the medallion. That pretty much making that assumptions there that the medallion would need to be found as well. But even with the medallion, the Mire is one of the few things that you still need another item to clear. Mire is one of the most intensive item dungeons, just like Turtle Rock, because the vanilla game, has thought you've already gone through all these other locations, so it's using all these items that you've gotten in other locations. And the Cane of Samaria is actually vanilla inside of Mire, so.
Yep, true. And Dataworld checking the bumper ledge saw that it has a whole bunch of nothing, another big 20. So might come down to these mirror spots again overworld.
Hammer pegs. We got hammer pegs. They've got Jeremiah, which is the frog smiths.
Yep, and seems like Finalflame is going to opt to go for the blacksmith sequence there.
The hookshot is in the... Wow.
That is a huge find.
That's big. That's big. That opens up Hookshot Cave, which might be pointing towards a Turtle Rock dip if they find the medallion for Turtle Rock up there. Which that was Ether, wasn't it?
Yes, I believe it was Ether. And having the hookshot in hand, meaning that Swamp Palace is completable. We do not have a way into Desert Palace yet, so our runners still do not have to worry about Pedestal.
Yeah, the pedestal index is actually
yeah, very low.
Very low, but still possible.
Yep.
The Mire medallion could still be on pedestal. So if it is Ether, it's pedestal's a no-go. So either way, yeah, this is a very interesting. I mean, we could actually have Flute on.
Flute could be on pedestal.
Flute could be on pedestal. boots could be on pedestal, even though it's not really a required item as of right now. It's very possible because it's possible that Desert Palace is not boots locked. If there is an item on the ledge or the torch in Desert Palace, you are not required to get boots. So that's interesting. That's very interesting. So let's see if Swamp Palace is going to be the play here, and we get the South of Grove check from Finalflame, and I think that was a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah, another hoard of 300 rupees. Better late than never.
Man, when I made the prediction earlier, I did not really intend for it to be that true. That was not my intention. Oh, the blue boomerang! We haven't found a boomerang yet. I didn't even realize blue boomerang is in the.
There's the best
spot.
boomerang.
Oh wow, that's hilarious. I mean, and until Finalflame works his way around to that graveyard ledge, this is looking pretty dismal. He's got to get over there and get that hook shot. That's the next major progression for him. Unless, of course, he finds a flute. Because if he finds a flute here, he can go check Mire area, and that'll help without a doubt. So let's see what Gary's lunchbox has. That's what we like to call the purple chest. Another area that he's checked that is nothing that dataworld has not, or may go to later. Where would he be going? What are you doing, Finalflame? I'm interested to see this. Where could he be headed? Oh, he didn't do Spike Cave. That's where Finalflame is headed. No worries on that. He had me confused there for a second. Dataworld's opting to skip left side, which not a bad move. Left side is usually pretty trolly, but we're hoping that it's not this troll that everybody hates, where it's got both items and has progression.
Ooh, there's the book. That could be into something.
There's the desert
palace open.
There's the desert access. So right now, all the dungeons have been holding like, hey, looky here, guys. The shovel, the cape, the book. Like, it's not giving you anything solid. It's like it's trying to give you this weird, hey, go here and waste your time. It's red herrings.
Yeah, so far it is. So far it's been like that, but yeah, never know. And Dataworld, going into his Argus fight. Not sure if he already picked up the map and compass and the big key, so not sure how many items are left on the left side. Did you catch that?
I believe he did get the big key. He checked the big key chest. He did not go left. So I believe there's only one item left side. I don't know if he got both map and compass. I honestly did not catch that. He got map and big key. Chat has confirmed. So Finalflame is going into Ice Palace as well, which, I mean, in all honesty, relative to their counts, clean by Dataworld.
Yeah, very, very clean quick kill, and gets reward with ether. There's our turtle rock axes.
Why you do this, Seed? Oh man. Oh wow.
You can say that again.
At this rate, I'm thinking flute on ped, man. At this rate, I'm thinking it.
Yeah, this seed is very much hinting to that. But first, we're gonna get the Bombos tablet check, which is very convenient, straight out of Swamp Palace, having picked up that book, and might be going for the Desert Palace dip.
Yeah, wow. Bombo's tablet showing nothing. And I mean, there's another out of the way location though to think about: the Ether tablet. Ether tablet could have something as well. It's wow, it is. There are so many out of the way locations right now all over the place for Data World. With not checking south of Grove, he has not done the blacksmith route yet with the purple chest. We know it's nothing. So it's Finalflame is not out of this until he actually gets. Once he goes and checks and gets the hook shot, that's going to help him. Like that's going to put him right back in the game. But we're going to see if this is boots locked or not. Not boots locked yet. Still could be the big key on the torch.
Yeah. But wow, the green pendant dungeon, Swamp Palace, opening up both other pendant dungeons. This must be a hint.
Oh man. There's one item. Let's see if he gets a second item in the, I think it's the vanilla map chest. I don't remember the actual...
I think it's Vanilla Big Key on Vanilla Big Key spot. So
yes.
Not boots locked so far. Maybe still the torch might be having an item.
It could have progression item. That's very true. It's not boots locked at all. It's going to be an item or the map or the compass up on that torch. So, oh man, it's fluid on this torch. It's the compass.
Ah, that's good.
So,
thank you, Seed. Thank you, Seed.
You're being nice for once, but so far they're having to scarily look at going into. He's got to clear the dungeon. He's not going to do it though.
Last item on Lamolas.
He's deciding not to kill Landmo. He's going to the Turtle Rock play. He's going to go check the tablet and go to Turtle Rock. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, interesting. He opts to go straight for Turtle Rock instead of checking the pedestal first. But he might be going for Ether tablet? No,
he's going straight to Turtle Rock. He's going straight to Turtle Rock. I may have checked a couple of other odd locations. I don't know. I've got an aversion to Turtle Rock, so apparently Data World's like, you know what? No, we're not letting this happen. We're not doing this. Finalflame forgot about not having hookshot, so he's going to drop down and go. He's just going to take the dive. He's going to go fight Cold Stare, so he's going to be happy about that because the big chest in Ice Palace was the map. So he's going to find his last item on Cold Stare and probably shrug and go, well, where do I go from here?
Yeah, interesting fact. I believe Data World did not hand in the green pendant yet as House Rolla. What if the flute is there?
Exactly. He hasn't done that yet. So he's opting to do a Turtle Rock dip. He's reading the seed as, okay, you gave me Turtle Rock access. I'll do it. Oh no.
You gave me desert access. I'll check it out a bit.
Finalflame just used both his green and blue potion, so he kind of double dipped there on the potion for magic. But he's got to get a couple more hits. Tempered Sword, that's nice.
Okay, yeah. So no Master Sword Ganon today.
Yeah,
at least not for Data World.
I mean, in all honesty, I'm okay with finding Tempered Sword and no silvers. That's actually it's an okay thing. I'm good with that. Tempered Sword is that's my level right there. Master Sword is just so, oh man, it's weak on so many things and makes so many fights so much tougher. So Finalflame is going to be heading out of Ice Palace. He does a good Cold Stare fight. Not quite as clean as Data World's, but still gets out of there without dying.
Yeah, worth it. Better that than dying. And yeah, for me as well. I'd pick Tempered Sword silverless again and any day over Master Sword with silvers.
Me too, without a doubt. Just doing those spins are such a pain. So where is he headed to now? I'm going to be interested to see this. So he's going to go...
Oh, I hope it's not going to be the Swamp Palace check without the hookshot.
That would be rough. He's going there. That's where he's going. So he's doing Swamp Palace without Hookshot. He's not going to get to the bag. We know Swamp Palace didn't really yield very much.
But we might see the left side from Finalflame side.
Yeah, I was gonna say there is an item on the left-hand side, but again, Finalflame's been running into the issue of checking spots that dataworld hasn't and getting nothing out of it. Maybe this is the flute. Maybe this is what we need.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be very, very good for the race if the flute is on the left side, because dataworld will put off the left side as probably his last possible location to check. If you skip left side swamp, you're basically committed to it.
Oh Lord.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah. Turtle Rock dip required. He noped out as soon as he found that. Don't blame him at all.
No, not at all. Still, the remaining Misery Mire required medallion could be very well here.
dataworld, you've got to activate it first, man.
I don't blame him at all. I would have probably done the same, finding flute this late.
That was funny. It's like, you just come here, Swag Duck. I'm happy I found you. Oh, such a good play going into Turtle Rock, though. Definitely good job on dataworld's side. Playing the song of his people.
Yep, so we will be getting that Misery Mire required medallion check very, very soon.
Yeah, somebody broke the flute. Why is this flute not working? It's the Swag Duck is not answering to my flute. Salute.
Yep, duck's on stuck.
The goose is loose.
Whee!
One of the most exciting, long, time-wasting scenes. Nobody wants to do the cutscene in Mire. Nobody wants to do any other cutscenes. But give them Swag Duck, they're fine.
I will gladly take this. And here we go.
Quaker
what
Bomb.
will it be? I'm on the tip of my seat, literally. Dataworld. It is Ether. We are in 96% go mode, depending on if the boots are on, or if the boots are required to get the big key of Genus Tower Storage.
Yeah, we are pretty much in theoretical go mode here. So Pet is dead, folks. Actually, the only thing that could be on Ped right now that is possible is something leading to said boots, or the boots themselves for the GT Big Key being on the torch. So
that's another scenario that I wish upon these runners.
I do not wish that on them by any means. Just theory crafting, something I enjoy doing. Please do not. I do not want that to happen. That is awful.
No, after the Zora money farming deceit and everything being on overworld locations, nothing of very, very major progression in dungeons. I really hope the big key will not be on the torch. However, for Finalflame's sake, I might be secretly hoping it is.
Does he get a Godmire? No. Let's see if it's over here in the yeah, if it's in the spike chest though, I would probably check the spike chest in this instance if I was him, instead of doing the typical route.
Yeah, definitely.
Actually, that is more typical doing the spike chest anyway. I always forget that is a thing.
No Goldmire for today.
Yep. Interesting to mention, there is a few like logic deals with Mire. If you get a small key in the chest over here on the left-hand side that is surrounded by spikes and you have to hit the switch for, the big key is guaranteed to be in its vanilla location. There is no other location it can be in. So if he checks this and it's a small key, which I don't think it can be, I think he's found the last one. Oh, the boots!
Oh, there we go. 100% go mode for dataworld at 1 hour and 33 minutes in.
Wow. So, that was the thing. And the big key, I would, honestly, if I was him right now, I would not do that cutscene. I would not go back in. I would go straight back to the right side. Exactly. I would be checking that, that chest that's surrounded by the little, whatever thing is, the fire
definitely.
guy. Whatever this,
There you go.
There it is. It's not, like, Meyer does this. Meyer likes to do the, oh, that's going to be your last check while I'm putting the big key there. And I've just started saying, okay, I'm going there. So, dataworld's going to be able to go mode this. And once he kills Vitreous, we have something that we like to do. That's all I'm saying. Because before, whenever people say that, we all of a sudden see a chat explode. So I'm waiting. Yeah, thanks, Demon. Appreciate that.
There you go already.
Appreciate it, Demon's Druid. Our tracker, everybody. Put your lulls and claps in chat. Thanks.
And no, the game did not start just yet. Hold your horses. Hold your horses.
Thanks, Demon.
And this is good for Finalflame. I believe he's going to make the graveyard ledge check to pick up his hookshot, and being able to clear Swamp Palace, picking up his ether, and hopefully he'll go to Turtle Rock to pick up his flute.
Oh man, I'm still laughing about this about chat.
Yeah, chat is still exploding. With different numbers though.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of troll numbers in there, which I appreciate those too. But the game is not open yet. You will hear me initiate it, and I will actually put it in there. So no worries. Yeah, Walter. If it was Key Sanity, then -21 would be a valid guess. Opting to do quick spin strats, I love it. Doing a great job. Oh, be careful though. He still has that fairy.
Yeah.
All right, chat. Get your guesses in chat 1 through 22 to let you know we do a big key guessing game for Ganon's Tower. As soon as he gets to that door and opens it and walks in, we will be ending it. 1 through 22, where is that big key going to be based on what chest he checks? So, put him in there. Now, Gless, what is your guess? Where do you believe this big key is going to be?
Well, usually I go for the GT big key being on the torch. However, I really want Finalflame to catch up a bit, so I'm going for 22. Hopefully, dataworld will do the tile room last, being 22. What about yourself?
So my typical guess is 11. I go with 11, which is either the bottom right or top left chest in Rando Room. I love the Rando Room because it's literally for the game. It's for us. Oh, dataworld getting dead rock. I hate that. But that's why I guessed that. But I'm with you. I'm with you. I kind of want Finalflame to get a chance to catch up. He just found his hook shot. He gave us a Bombos because apparently he found Bombos. I did not see where he found that. And he doesn't have ether yet. So he's looking for ether. But still, I want him to have a chance to catch up a little bit, because right now there is a definitive lead for dataworld. I'm not the kind of person to typically call leads, but yeah, we've got a lead here. So
yeah, this is quite a sizable lead, and Finalflame, however, not having that ether medallion in possession, will not be able to check out Turtle Rock. But I believe he's going here to check out the Hookshot Cave, hoping that his progression will be here. And interesting, I've never ever seen a race with both of the commentators guessing the exact same number, 22. So this is a first for me. I'm quite excited.
Yeah, and I'm not doing that just because it's what you said. I do agree. I'm with you on that, on the fact that, like, I kind of want Finalflame to have a little bit of a ability to get up. And honestly, the seed has been that way. The seed has been that way, just giving us weird one-of locations. You didn't find 2 items in the same spot. It was like everything literally was like, hey, this is here. Now you're going there. Now you have 1 more item. Now you're going here. Now you have 1 more item. All right, so he is walking through right now. We are stopping the game. All right, so he's going to be starting the right side like usual. Let's see if he stays right. That's going to change the numbers from the typical routing. Number 1 is a big piece of heart. Number 2 is ruby. So he's not going to be able to go right. He has no key. So he has to go to the left. Did I break something? What did I break?
He could have gone tower room though. Luckily he didn't. But there it is, the big key on Ganon's torch. So if you guessed number 3, you got it right.
So it was on the torch, huh?
Yep, so boots required.
Ah, you know what? I don't think the bot is working. I don't think the bot is working. So, well, with the bot not working, you have our love and gratitude. Congratulations for guessing number 3. We probably will get a few more chest checks from DataWorld, maybe just to find silvers to make this a little bit easier, because he may feel behind still. Considering, you know, all that rupee farming and stuff like that. He's been playing like a man on a mission. So we'll see what happens here in that instance. And I've really got to stop saying we'll see what happens here, because that's been my phrase of the day. So...
yeah, well, you called everything right up until this point. The flute and the last medallion being required, being elusive up until almost the very end of the seed.
That really did happen too. I'm surprised that my shout out at the beginning was exactly what happened. And props to him for going to those fairies right there, feeling a little bit uncomfortable with green mail. I don't blame him. A Ganon hug is 8 hearts. And in green mail. So unless he finds blue mail here, he's that's a sizable chunk of your hearts gone.
Yeah, not at all. I don't blame him at all. I believe he still has the fairy. Also picked up a green potion, I believe, and might have picked up red potion as well. I'm not sure.
Lakaktar, that would honestly, Finalflame would have to just not check that chest. It's highly unlikely that he doesn't check the chest that has the boots in Mire. So that's very unlikely. But DataWorld's making short work of this gauntlet. And real quick, while we're seeing a land mode 2 with Fire Rod strats, quick shout out to our runners. Give them a follow. Finalflame and DataWorld doing a fantastic job providing your entertainment today, as well as my co-commentator, Kles Hayabusa, as well as our wonderful trolley tractor, Demon's Druid, starting the guessing game way early and confusing folks. Thank you for that. And to all the Speed Gaming staff and all of you, the fans, I appreciate this. Thank you very much for being here and giving us your views. We really do appreciate that as well. With the simple little smile in chat. All right, interesting bit of trivia, or there's a glitch that happens whenever you go through that door. The torches can go out, and if the torch goes out while you are still going up the stairs, you will actually soft lock the game. It's going to despawn all the sprites on the next level. So if you don't get up those stairs in time, you can really hurt yourself, because it's going to take you back to the very last time you save and quit. So it's definitely something to keep in mind, but it's really hard to do that. You've got to be pretty unlucky on that sense. It's happened, but and there's the despawn glitch right there. It happens. Perfect example.
It's I believe a frame perfect trick or misstep or whatever you want to call it. And that is the reason why some runners opt to pick up the magic refill and the heart on top of the room, just to make sure that they will not accidentally activate this glitch.
Exactly. It's really bad. You don't just. It's not just leaving GT that you have to do. You have to reset your game. You have to reset your game. Leaving GT does not fix that. That's my understanding, at least. I will admit I've never personally done it or actually witnessed it other than that clip. It's definitely not fun when it happens.
So far, Aghanim 2 not giving that much nice of a pattern to dataworld, but finishes the fight and is off to his final, well, big blue pig roasting fight.
Okay, so there, folks who have witnessed it more than I have. Like I said, the Aga 2 despawn is the issue, that he's gone, and you have to go out of Ganon's Tower. The reset of the game is not necessary. Okay, so correction, I am wrong. I'll admit that. So starting the pig fight, no silvers, but with Tempered Sword it's a lot easier. You can just do slashes, getting some good RNG in the bottom right hand corner. Oh, but he's got Fairy. It's okay.
Yeah, all being calculated well by dataworld, no problems.
That's the Fairy from the beginning race game too, so...
So it came in handy after all.
Yep, using it at a very critical spot. And he is in the third phase, having to get one hit on each of these when he stops doing his teleports. Let's hope the teleport RNG is not too bad. It is going to be equal amongst the runners. It is not going to be different for them. They have normalized that.
Yeah, both will get exactly the same number of warps in their first Ganon fight. However, if they fall or take a death, the patterns will reset and it will be random.
Turtle Rock is where they were, so no possibility of getting them in Ganon's Tower. So now he just has to do some decent dodges and get off 12 spins, I believe it is. Please correct me if I'm wrong on the numbers. My math today and numbers have been all off today.
That is correct, 12 spins.
12.
Yeah. Both on Gold Sword and on Tempered Sword. It's 24 spins with the Master Sword.
Yeah, that's why Master Sword Canon's not fun. 24, you double them. You double the 12, so... Ooh. No more. No more. He can't do it anymore. If he gets hit again, he is down for the count. Probably going to have to go get potions. Which, honestly, I mean, that's still quite a bit of distance for Finalflame to have to do. He's actually going all the way back to Landmo 1, which dataworld did not do. So he's avoiding the Turtle Rock play.
Yeah, and dataworld being very, very careful here. I don't blame him at all. Keeping his distance from Ganon. Getting torch lit again, and I believe only a few spins away from victory.
Yeah, he's very close. Ooh.
There we go, the big blue pig is down on dataworld side. Get your GGs in chat, as he will be finishing soon.
Yep, once he walks through that door, we will report his time.
Yep, and dataworld has officially finished with a speed racing TV time of 1 hour, 47 minutes and 56 seconds. GG.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm sorry. Thank you, Seed. You said it. You said it for sure. I'm sorry.
You better be sorry, Seed.
That is the correct response to this, Seed. I'm sorry. So let's see if we can't get dataworld in here for a quick interview. Give me just a moment.
Yeah, I know the message is actually longer than that. It's gonna be, I'm sorry, but your princess isn't in the castle. But still, Seed, apologize to us.
Yes.
What have you done?
Yes. All right. I'm moving Data World up now. Mr. Data World, thank you so much for the entertainment today. GG, finishing first.
GG.
And how about the Seed apologizing to you at the end of that?
I was actually pretty happy with the seed, to be honest. Except for maybe the later half was kind of... well, it was very, very gambly, I felt, but... it's the first time also I have to grind money for Zora, so that's...
Well, your opponent had to do the exact same thing, so no time lost there.
no way around it, sadly, but...
Yeah, and just to touch on this real quick, Finalflame has forfeited, which there's no shame in that at all. Doing a forfeit in this instance is not a problem. He sees the dot done and understands it's like, hey, I've got a lot to go. GG's to Finalflame for definitely putting up with this seed and for again providing entertainment today. I mean, while the runner didn't really care much about the seed, it was definitely one of those things we were watching and going, oh man, Finalflame checked a lot of locations that you didn't, and ended up having a lot of extra checks, and wow. So, but hey, Finalflame, GG, sir.
GG, Finalflame.
So we'll go ahead and ask your thoughts there, Finalflame. What are your thoughts about this seed? Possibly having a mic issue.
It helps if I unmute.
But usually it does. So
there you go.
So just please tell me it wasn't Ice Palace Big Chest.
Nope.
Nope.
Okay.
It was a map in Ice Palace Big Chest.
I assume it was still an Ice Palace.
Nope.
The heck did I miss?
Turtle Rock.
Turtle Rock, yeah. You got Turtle Rock
Christ.
access in the back of Swamp Palace, picking up the ether, and Flute was hiding in one of the first
I
chests
stood
in
no
Turtle
chance
Rock.
then.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was a lot of instances where you had made checks earlier, and like if they would have paid off, this would have been a totally different story. But they just happened to be nothing. Like Fat Fairy, you were checking before, as well as like you checked the Dig game and Stumpy, and they just happened to be nothing. Like every check that you had done way before Data World ended up being nothing. Data World did come back and check a few of those, but he was getting the progression in locations that you just happened to be getting later. So, and it was still interesting to see because you were always keeping that just so much distance, even though you took the death early in the escape. Like it was just enough distance where you were keeping the same amount of crystals, and if you would have possibly found like the flute before him in one location, it would have just changed like that. So
and the worst part is, I did catfish relatively early to me because I'm so tired of getting screwed by him, and I was happy with Amir. And I had the same debate with Graveyard Ledge, and I went, as that's the last place before Ice, I went, nah, it ain't gonna be Hookshot. And then, yeah, I don't know Ice without Hookshot very well, as it showed. And then when I dropped down, instead of bombing the floor, I just face-palmed and said, you know what, let me finish the dungeon, and I hope it's not here.
I mentioned that as soon as you dropped down, I was like, he was thinking Hookshot, and I was like, luckily that is the map.
I wasn't
Hopefully
even thinking Hookshot. I just was thinking, yeah, I can drop down. There's no reason not to. And then I dropped, saw the big chest, and went, duh!
Yeah, you almost went back for it, though. You started to go north, and then you were like, no, let's just do Cold Stare.
I debated it. I started to go up and see, could I do anything? And then it was, I don't really know what path I could go. Let's just get this done.
Yeah, so we asked Finalflame's thoughts. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there. I was going to say, Data World, you said you liked the seed. Like, other than the ending, what was it that, like, just... Did you ever feel behind at any point when you had to farm for Zora or anything like that? Were you feeling pretty comfortable the whole time?
I was feeling pretty comfortable up to me entering Turtle Rock, because I was pretty much only looking for the flute, and possibly a Mire medallion, and I didn't check Village of Outcast yet. Green Pendant, Left Side Swamp, the back of Desert. So it was really. I felt like the logic was trying to get me to go into TR. But if it wasn't in TR, I was probably. It cost me 10 minutes for absolutely nothing. So that was. But once I found the fluid, I knew I was in good shape, and once I found the boots in Mire, I knew I pretty much had won. So yeah,
That's where they were. I'm actually glad boots were not early. My boots movement is horrible. So at least if boots are late, I know my opponent doesn't have them either.
And let's talk about that. And yet you picked the Sonic sprite and put "Gotta Go Fast." I mean, irony much?
Okay, fair point.
We mentioned that I read the bios beforehand, and funny enough, Dataworld put on his bio that he likes to see boots early, and you put on yours that you don't like to, and then we see
Can't
Sonic
stand
and
them.
Gotta Go Fast. So, yeah, it was definitely amusing. So I want to thank you both for providing the entertainment, guys. Thank you. It was a great race, and like I said to chat, literally, there's no shame in having to do a dot forfeit. There's no shame in that. It happens.
My pride was shattered at that point. Normally, I'd like to finish, but
Yeah, I want to thank you all. And again, I want to thank everybody for showing up, for being a part of this. I want to thank the Speed Gaming staff. I want to thank our tracker for being a troll today. No, I'm kidding. Thank you, Demon, for doing what you do. I thank you for putting numbers in chat and clicking buttons for us and making sure that everything is all ready for everybody to view. I really appreciate that. To our restreamer, which I believe is Fiesel, he usually does these, as well as to my co-commentator, last but not least, Gless, thank you for joining me today on this. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you too, Unknown Availability. I had a blast commentating together with you, as well as, of course, watching the race. So please, by all means, give these races a follow. They put up an amazing show and entertain us until the very last. And the forfeit is not a shame at all, especially in a seat such as this one. So yeah, thank you guys, everybody, for watching as well, and hope to see you next time.
And stick around. There's going to be more races all throughout the day, all throughout the week. They're always coming up. There is Speed Gaming 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, as well as ALTTP Randomizer 1 through 4. Keep your eyes out. Go follow those for your updates and for getting the notifications. Come watch more matches. There is plenty more to go around. Come and join us. Thank you.